Hi, I'm Susanna Bowling, and this is live from the Hotel Edison. Times Square Chronicles presents Zoom Style. There was a show that opened up on Monday off Broadway at Stage 42, but before that, it was done at the York Theater. It's called Gotta Dance, and it is a brand new show featuring choreography from shows that we've known for a very long time with new artists now dancing their work. And today we are with two of the top performers that were in Gotta Dance, or are they are in Gotta Dance. We're talking Brendan Burke and RJ Higton. Brendan, can you tell me how you began into dance?
I began dancing when I was 2 years old, and I love telling this story because I feel like so much of what we do kind of derives from how much our family supported us doing it. And I went to my sister's dance class and got out of my stroller and just started doing what the girls were doing in class. And
So you're like the chorus line guy. I'm watching Cisco
yeah,
Kid.
no, I'm Mike from Chorus Line for sure. Yeah, I don't ever remember saying I wanted to be a dancer. I was just a 2 year old who was in class, and the teacher told my mom to bring me back, and I've been dancing ever since then.
Now, we discussed earlier, you come from California.
Yes.
So who did you study with in California? Which teachers?
I went to San Elijo Dance Academy and trained with some incredible ballet instructors there. And I was with Debbie Allen Dance Academy for about 3 to 4 years. I did some scholarship stuff there, and I started with doing summer intensives, and then I came back because I just kind of fell in love with her programming and how many teachers and the kind of training we were getting. So I've kind of trained all around Southern California.
Now, you're exquisite at tap. Who taught you that?
Thank you. I would say a mixture. There is Ashley Foray, Jason Samuel Smith, Chloe Arnold, Brill Barrett. I've had so many iconic tap teachers who have seen my feet and imparted amazing knowledge to me.
I was really lucky. I got to study with a man named Willie Covan,
Wow.
and that's who taught me how to tap. Um, in the show, what choreography inspires you the most?
Jerome Robbins, Mr. Monotony. There's something about that number. It's so good at telling a story while completely staying inside of classic technique. And it is so athletic and so agile. And I think it is so exciting to watch them every night execute that choreography. I think it's very, very inspiring, especially as someone who wants to move into choreography after I finish dancing so much. So I think that number would be my favorite.
What choreographers inspired you?
I grew up in the time of So You Think You Can Dance being very popular. So I think Sonia Taya and Mia Michaels and Travis Wall, like those kind of contemporary commercial choreographers, have really kind of set the tone for what dance on a commercial level looks like right now. And I think most recently, Casey Nicholaw, who's decorated Broadway choreographer, and Ashley Wallen, who was the choreographer on Greatest Showman. I think in the most recent years, those two have really kind of set the tone. But I think currently my favorite choreographer is Camille A. Brown, five-time Tony nominated Camille A. Brown. I just worked with her on the Jitsu Revival, and
Oh,
her attention to detail and the way she can build a story through music is inspiring.
what shows would you like to do? Like where do you see your career? What would you like? What shows inspire you?
Roles that Well, it's funny because ADM is one of those shows. God
American.
is a show that ADM derived, and you're reviving so many iconic works that you've seen, and growing up in a lot of these movies and a lot of these Broadway shows, there were a lot of white men at the forefront of these roles, and so I don't think I loved them, but I didn't really see representation. I didn't really see myself in a lot of these shows. And so growing up, when Lion King on Broadway came out, that was the first time I saw a black man in a majestic way. And I was like, oh, I really want to do that show. And I mean, the show's still open, and I've worked for Disney Theatricals for years. And I think that's always been like a bucket list role to play Simba. because it's just so inspiring, and I think it really connects so many people. And similarly, Ragtime, the musical, the revival is out right now, and I
The
love
best, the best show out there
it's
right
the
now.
best show, and I would love to play Cole House when I'm a little bit older. So I think those two roles, Simba and Cole House, have always been so close to my heart. And because they're so popular, there's sometimes where I'm like, maybe I should think about something else, but they've always stuck with me as things that I really want to do.
See, I'd want to play Scar.
I actually played Star at Disneyland, funny enough.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's got the best choreography and the best through line
Yeah.
and so much to do.
Now, being a villain's fun. I would love that.
Where do you see yourself more, singer, actor, dancer?
I think I'm a great actor who can dance and sing. I actually think that's now that I'm a little bit older, I've kind of figured that out. I love to tell stories. I love to be inside of a character. And I think now being able to mix all of the training, dancing for years, and then taking singing seriously when I was in college, and there's been so many people who have been champions of, especially when you're a dancer first, you often don't get the agency to sing freely, and you don't have the confidence because when you're around these amazing principals and these amazing superstar singers, sometimes you don't believe that you can do that. And so I'm glad that people really championed me as a singer because I feel like being a triple threat now is so rare.
Must.
You know what I mean? And it's an absolute must to work on Broadway. Yeah, I think all three I am very confident in now at this point in my life, but I think I would say I'm an actor first.
If you had to work with a composer or a composing team, who would you want to work with?
That's so hard. So I'm going to do a tie answer. Hans Zimmer moves me beyond the way his brain takes music and makes you feel something. I think is on a genius level. But in the theater, I think Steven Schwartz. There's no
Oh.
one who makes you feel quite like he does, in my opinion.
They say that eyes are the windows of the soul, but I think songs are. If you had to choose a song or a series of songs to say who Brandon is, what would it be?
People always laugh at this fun fact about me, but Coldplay is my favorite band of all time. And I think because they have an ability to write poetry about the human experience and make everyone feel something. I feel like if you go in a mall or you're passing through, everyone kind of knows a Coldplay song. And I think when I listen to their music, it's exactly what you are saying. There's kind of doorway that they create where you can feel something and your soul is kind of ignited in some way. So I would say probably the song The Message by Coldplay, I think really kind of speaks to my experience.
What would you like your next job to be after Gotta Dance?
If I could choose, I would be probably an associate to a director. Someone who I am absolutely in love with right now is Michael Arden. And I love his vision, what he puts out into the world. And so, in my dreams, I move into an associate position so I can really learn from our up and coming directors. But I think if I was, still on stage, I would love to either be covering a principal or in a principal role because ensemble work is so amazing, but I do think I am ready to have more responsibility on.
Is there any show that's coming up that you would like, that you know is coming up that you would like to do?
Dreamgirls.
RJ, welcome to the party.
Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I was running a little late. I was
No.
having some issues with my app.
You weren't in the York version, but you've come in, and I have to say you're a great addition to it.
Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. You're like a young Ray Bolger, Gene Kelly-ish.
That's so sweet.
No, I mean it, but because those kind of numbers need that lanky body to do it. Of all the choreography in Gotta Dance, what is your favorite?
What is my favorite? I really think that the Jerome Robbins cool choreography is my favorite. I mean, it's so grounded, it's so pedestrian. It just feels like real life. All the gestures, all these gestures were made in the early 50s, late 50s, and they still stand up today in 2026 as like fantastic pieces of choreography. Um, and I think that they're some of my favorite stuff to dance in the show. Um, I mean, you can't beat the Gene Kellys and all the classic Broadway stuff, but I've always kind of been more of into the grittiness
I
of choreography.
am.
You know, I made my Broadway debut in Outsiders, and like that whole like gang related sort of movement, I guess. That whole like kind of world, I don't know, I just feel like I really kind of live in that world and understand it to a capacity, you know.
Well, I have to say, The Outsiders for me had the best choreography I've ever seen. Oh, look like you're flying. It was
Yes, the
amazing.
Coopermans.
I love their work. Love, love, love. How did you get started in theater and dance and music?
My mom was a dancer when she was growing up, and you couldn't really play sports till you were like 3 or 4, and I was just like a really rambunctious kid, and really needed something to do. And my mom ended up running into her dance teacher at a like at a Costco or something, and she was like, you know, yeah, we'll take him, you know, throw him in class, and the rest is kind of history. After that, I just kept dancing. I played sports and whatnot, but at a certain point when I got kind of later into middle school and stuff, it was just like, what do I really want to do? What is something like what's evoking my passion? And it was just dance for me. I was just like, I got to keep going, and that's kind of how I got into it. It was really my mom that put me into it, and yeah, that's how it all happened, I guess.
What choreographers inspired you?
I mean, Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire, Bob Fosse, Jerome Robbins, pretty much all of these choreographers that were working with their pieces in this. Michael Bennett, Susan Stroman. I mean, like all it's really hilarious. All these choreographers that represent Gotta Dance are really some of like my biggest inspirations for the show, for like my career, what I grew up watching, what I grew up like dreaming about. I mean, Michael Bennett's A Chorus Line is like one of my first musicals that I really like came into contact with in high school and fell in love with. And I mean, it's just so special to be able to be a part of this and evoke and work with all these estates. I mean, you got to think like the people that own the rights to all this choreography, they have their specific people that they want to come in and set the choreography. And so it's been really special to like meet all these people that were either a part of original cast or worked with the actual people that you know, created these pieces. It's sort of like feeling like you're getting to sort of meet and touch the originals, you know.
Did you get to meet Bjork? Did Bjork?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Bjork is
Bjork is the
amazing.
best.
Yes, she is. She's
And I know
crazy. She's awesome.
McKechnie was there,
Yes, Donna.
and Doreen
Yeah,
was there.
and then some of the original members of Contact also worked with us. And Susan Stroman came in and kind of worked with us a little bit. Lars from the Gene Kelly stuff. Yeah, I mean, all of these people are just epic, and they've been around the block. They've done this before. They have worked with the greats, and now they're passing on their knowledge to us, so we can do the same for the next generation.
Brendan, I want you to join in this next question. Do you feel kind of like the gypsy robe where do you know what the gypsy robe is, right? Do you feel kind of like you're the next generation and you're getting the gypsy robe from all of the people before you?
Yes. Well, yeah, I mean, I did the 50th anniversary of Chorus Line last summer, and when the original line came out, some of the original members have passed on.
Yeah.
And you know, working with Bjork and Donna and all those icons right now, it's such an honor to see these people in their like 70s and 80s now and understand that one day I will be telling stories of working with them. And so it's an amazing perspective doing a show like this, seeing these works passed on and people telling me, I saw the original. You know what I mean? And so being a part of our nation of it is so special because I know that one day I will either be teaching or telling lore of my days doing this show and how I got to meet the original people or their teams or their associates. And so, yeah, it does feel like this kind of legacy torch that is being passed to us right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Gypsy Robe is such a special piece of Broadway history. I think it's just amazing that, like Brandon said, you know, the whole passing. I think that's why we do this. It's not always about the individual career, and it's not about how much you can succeed in that career, but it's really about obtaining knowledge and experience and passing it on. You know, being a student and being a teacher at the same time, and not being afraid to pass that information on to the next generation. um, because the people that have passed it on to us have never been afraid to, and they have always stated that it was most important for them to give it to us so that we can continue the tradition. And I think that's so much of what the legacy robe represents, you know, is like, this is a family, and this is a family that's been going on for over 100 years now, and it's important for us, and we're a part of that now. And so it's important for us to continue the legacy and continue the growth and continue the teachings of what we have learned in our lives.
You're so young. Did you ever get to meet Bennett or Fosse?
No,
That's
no,
so
I did not.
sad.
But I did get to meet Anne Ranking before she passed, and got to work with her, and that sort of felt like being able to touch Gwen Verdon and Bob Fosse in a certain way. Yeah, she's an amazing, amazing woman, and she took the time to really work with another dancer and I on a piece that we were working on. This was during the pandemic, because she ended up passing, like, I think at the end of 20 or end of 21, and we got the chance to work with her like just a couple months before she had passed. I'll never forget meeting Anne Ranking. But you know, a lot of these other choreographers I haven't been able to meet in person. But you know, I feel like through people like Robert LaFosse, a great mentor and friend of mine is Marianne Lamb, who was in the original Fosse you know, review, and she was also in Jerome Robbins on Broadway. And so I just feel like through people like that, I've been able to really learn and connect with people like Jerome Robbins, and learn about who they were as people, and learn about who they were as creatives and as friends. I mean, you know, like, that's Marianne Lamb has this amazing picture in her house that Jerome Robbins gifted her. And it's a picture of him and her in the studio working, and I think Jerome gave it to her on one of their opening nights or something, and said, you know, to my friend, hope you have a great opening night, and thank you for everything you do, and love, Jerome.
Those are the kind of things that you cherish.
Absolutely.
What kind of roles would you like to take on after this show?
Oh my gosh. No, I mean, I really just I want to be acting. That's really one of my first passions. I love film, and I love television, and I love the whole world of that. And so I'm really looking to kind of branch out and do some more film and television on my next projects. But you know, it's sort of like one of those things where as an actor, you have to make career moves. You have to be willing to say no to things that might not necessarily move your career forward, but you also got to pay rent. You know, it's this beautiful blend of survival and trying to climb the ladders of your career. Who knows? Who knows what's next? And I will be here with my arms open, ready for it when it comes. You know?
Who would you like to work with in this business?
Who would I like to work with? Well, Brandon brought up Michael Arden. That's a great person to want to work with.
Icon.
Yeah, icon. Camille A. Brown. I mean, who's another person I really would like to work with. You know, I got the chance to work with Jerry Mitchell on my last Broadway show, and that dude rocks, and I love him, and I would work for him any day of the week. So I definitely want to work for Jerry Mitchell again at some point. And as well as the creatives of Outsiders, Danya Tamor and Rick and Jeff Cooperman, just genius creatives that changed my life forever. I feel like in some ways I want to I want to work with people I've already worked with. I just want to keep working with them. But there's so many people.
My favorite question to ask people is, they say that eyes are the windows of the soul.
Mm-hmm.
I think songs are. So if you had to choose a song or a series of songs to describe who RJ is, like in case
is that why Brandon was talking about Coldplay?
Yes.
Yes. Dude, I'm with you. I feel like Coldplay, honestly, it honestly emotionally informed like my entire childhood. But I'm also like a huge Frank Sinatra kind of guy. Like, I feel like I grew up like I feel like when I first got an iPod as a kid, my mom had like the Beach Boys and Frank Sinatra on my iPod. But I don't know. I think I might have to agree with Brandon too, that the Coldplay albums are really a part of my childhood. They're really a part of like emotionally informing me about who I am as a person.
I didn't know you liked Coldplay. Are we best friends?
Yes, I mean, what kid from Orange County doesn't like
Right.
Coldplay, right? I mean, come on, let's be for real.
Wait, are
I
you
don't know
from
if you guys.
California? Are you from California too?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Huntington Beach, California, Orange
No,
County.
wait, what high school did you go to?
I went to Orange County School of the Arts, OSHA. No, OSHA started at Los Alamitos as an after-school program, and then in the early 2000s became a charter school in Santa Ana.
Yeah, I'm past
And
that.
lots of alumni are from the school, like Matthew Morrison, Krista Rodriguez. My gosh, yeah, lots of OSHA alum on Broadway today.
Brandon,
Yes.
surprised you didn't mention working with Savion Glover.
I've never worked with him directly. I've auditioned for him a couple times and we've been in the same room, but I've never gotten to work on a show with him or really take class from him.
No, the reason I ask is because your tap is so exquisite. I would expect you wanting to be with someone like Savion.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, what's exciting is he's kind of dipping into the Broadway scene again. And so I hope we run into each other at some point, but a lot of great tap shows are on their way. Iodel Cassell, Michelle Dorrance, Savion, they all are cooking up things right now. And so Broadway is about to really see some like hoofing.
Tap resurgence.
Yeah.
Some great hoofing, yeah, on the way.
This question is for both of you. What would you like audiences to take away from Gotta Dance?
Nikki Atkins revived this in 2012 because she wanted this living archive of American musical theater dance. And I think so many shows that have come out recently, I would say in the last like 10 years, I can't remember that many iconic choreography pieces. Like, to be honest, I think like Some Like It Hot.
Yep, definitely.
Outsiders, Funny Girl. There have been like some moments that you can screenshot that were really, really cool, but not in a way that people are going to want to archive forever. And I think being a part of something that feels timeless. I signed a bunch of playbills for some 8-year-old girls yesterday, and it's probably their first time ever saying some of these numbers. And so knowing that something like Moses Supposes or Music in the Mirror can inspire a new generation while also making an older generation feel at home. I don't know. It just feels like it's such a special thing. And so I hope the audiences, because Gotta Dance is very singular. There's nothing else like it on Broadway or off Broadway right now. I'm hoping people feel fulfilled and they feel alive and they want to come back and bring their friends. And I hope we get to build a fan base of the show who wants to see these classic works.
Gosh, I feel like Brandon really hit a lot of it, but I just feel like, preserving these pieces of work is what's most important. And I think the biggest thing that people can take away from the show is just the fact that there are people in New York City that can do this. Also, these are not easy pieces of choreography, and they're not, they take really unique individuals that have a lot of different skills to be able to pull off. And I think that it's really awesome to be able to witness that. So I think that along with the talent and along with the company, I think just the fact that audiences can walk away and experience what musical theater has come from. I think that it's important for us to realize that you don't get an Outsiders and you don't get a Funny Girl and you don't get a Dream Girls and you don't get a Gypsy unless a lot of these other types of things were built. I think that it's important for us to realize whose shoulders we're standing on when we're out here making new stuff, because if we lose sight of that, we're gonna lose sight of what we're creating and what it means for audiences to realize that a lot of these pieces and a lot of the things that are being made today are inspired by a lot of these original pieces.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank RJ and Brendan for being with us today. Gotta Dance is a musical that will definitely make you feel alive, and it's playing at Stage 42. Brandon and RJ, thank you for being with us. I'm Susanna Bowling, and this is live from the Hotel Edison. Times Square Chronicles presents Zoom Style.